Hey everybody, just Jesse here, welcoming you back to another day of accountability. Welcome to my garage, my man cave. Today's Tuesday, October 27th, the year 2020, and I read through Proverbs chapter 1. That's going to deal with a lot of different things, but the thing that I want to deal with today is decision making and how that's the fastest way to gain leadership. So how easy is it to make decisions during your everyday lives? Isn't that a loaded question? I know that because I want to make other people happy, I usually just go with the whatever sounds good to you response. But in those words lies my own demise. Sometimes others don't want to make all the decisions. Maybe they have to make difficult decisions all day and they don't want to have to make one more decision that day. If you're like me, you must figure out wisdom can be a leader's best friend, especially when making decisions. Maybe you're just one person inside of a larger group of people, and within that group, a decision has to be made. But because no one wants to, or maybe they just can't come to a decision, the group stalls out. Who will become the most influential person in that room? What I'm really asking you is, who is that influential person? Well, it's going to actually be the one who has wisdom to draw the conclusion. That doesn't only work, but it also has to be blessed by the group. Now, Proverbs chapter 1 shows us that wisdom is a woman crying out in the streets. And in verse 20 it says, "Out in the open, wisdom calls aloud. She raises her voice in the public square." Now, what an amazing picture Solomon paints right there. Wisdom doesn't hide herself, but proclaims publicly, and we have to go out and find her and build a friendship with her. Now, what can we learn about decision making from Proverbs chapter 1? Well, the first thing we can learn is the foundation for every decision is to honor and revere God. And in verse 7 it says, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge." And that goes without saying that every decision that we make, we have to remember that it has to honor and revere God. It has to bring God's name glory. The second thing we see is that we must build off our heritage and conscience. So what values are we to embrace? Well, verses 8 and 9 say, "Listen to your father's instruction and do not forsake your mother's teaching. They are garland to your head and a chain around your neck." And these are not things that are going to weigh you down. Like the garland is obviously light, but the chain isn't talking about a heavy chain to weigh you down, to burden you. It's talking about a chain like a necklace that you're going to wear. The third thing we must learn from Proverbs 1 is that we have to avoid counsel of the ungodly. Now, there are 9 verses 10 through 19, that go over this. And I dare you to read verses 10 through 19. I dare you to read the whole chapter. The whole chapter is so interesting to what we're going through today. The fourth thing that we must learn from Proverbs chapter 1 is that we must pursue wisdom. We need to know what the facts are, and we need to know what are the opinions. And in verse 20 through 23, we can figure stuff out like that. The last thing that we're going to learn from Proverbs chapter 1 is that we must move towards inner peace. Verses 32 and 33 talk about that a lot. Now, I know that decision making for me is always such a hard thing because I want to please people. And so my goal is to stop pursuing the happiness of people and start pursuing reverence to God. Now, I challenge you to do the same if you're having difficulties making decisions. The easiest way to make your decision is to ask yourself, am I doing this for someone else or am I doing this for God? Well, I hope that Proverbs chapter 1 really inspires you like it did with me. I know that I'm going to go share this with my family, and I hope that you know somebody in your circle of friendship or in your family that needs to hear this, that you can share it with. because it's really eye-opening. If you don't know who I am, I do go by the name Just Jesse, and this is just my way of being accountable to staying in God's Word. I make a video about what I read every day, and I post it up for you guys to see, and hopefully if it's something that you like, you guys will embrace it. I'm not saying that I'm a leadership guru or that I know everything there is to know, but I am saying that as a human being, as a flawed person, if I can help someone else, I will. And if this is that, then that's where the video is going to come in. So if you haven't already, like and subscribe, leave thumbs up, leave comments. I love to see your comments. I will respond to every comment that you post. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns that are outside of what I'm talking about here, you can always reach out to me on social media. I hope that you guys are having a great night. I hope that you're staying safe and that you're being blessed by God, and that you're going and growing as always. And have a good night.